My first year as Director of Music here has rather happily coincided with the centenary year of this choir school, St Thomas Choir School, which was instituted by Tertius in 1919 to educate boys of New York and the surrounding areas in both academic and musical practice, from which the church has now benefited for 100 years. This concert will mark that by a performance for the first time, perhaps for over 100 years, of Tertius Noble's Cantata, Gloria Domine. A grand cantata which contains ideas related to the story of the dedication of King Solomon's temple and has movements based on prayer and on praise. Is written very much in a very grand oratorio style that's redolent of C.H.H. Parry and Edward Elgar and so on. So it's wonderful to be able to present that as somebody's work who was so important in the institution of this choir school. The rest of the concert, at the end we will sing, accompanied by the Orchestra of St Luke's, Stephen Paulus Cantata, Prayers and Remembrances, commissioned for the 10th anniversary of 9/11, and again deals with both prayer and praise, and dealing with the emotions of grief and redemption, of course in memory of the victims who lost their lives on 9/11. It's a really very beautiful work, largely contemplative and very tuneful. The first half will be marking the 85th anniversary of the first performance of Rachmaninoff's Rhapsody on the Theme of Paganini, a piece that perhaps needs no introduction, but will give the chance for the Orchestra of St Luke's to shine, and with luck, yours truly on the keys. It's a piece I've played a number of times before, and of course it's an evergreen masterpiece. So I hope there's something for everybody in that particular concert. So switching between the organ and the piano is something that I know many people don't like to do. Pianists sit in one camp and organists often sit in another, and ne'er the twain shall meet. But of course there is no great organist who is not a fine pianist, and so the basis of all good organ technique is a very strong foundation of pianistic ability, and pianistic ability is not just an ability to play the notes, but actually having the oral sensibility to sort out lines and so on. One of the greatest difficulties is, of course, at the organ what really counts is not the front of the key, but the back of the key, how you release the note, because an organ note will, of course, sound for a millennium if you hold the key down. But there's no doubt that if you want to play the great literature on the organ, then you have to be able to play your Chopin scherzi or your Liszt etudes, your Bach preludes and fugues at the piano elegantly, your Scriabin, your Rachmaninoff, and the demands pianistically and technically that are made mean that as an organist you won't have any problem playing the great literature of the organ. Working with the choir of men and boys is, I regard, as a huge privilege and a great honour to succeed hugely illustrious predecessors. The strength of purpose that I feel, having been given the gift of this job, is twofold. One, that this is not work that I've done all my career. I've been a pianist and an organist and developed a much more maverick career. But here, in my mid-50s, I'm given this chance to work in a way that I grew up. That's the second part of this, that I grew up very much in this kind of environment, and I was infected by this kind of music in these kind of spaces as an 8-9-year-old, and was completely bowled over by its power and so on. So I've been on the periphery of this world all my life, but I feel hugely honoured to be given the opportunity to develop this into the 21st century here at St Thomas in this way. We hope that this concert will also attract the interest of our alumni, of which there is now a very vibrant organisation, and we know how valuable our old members are and those who have sung in St Thomas, and their enthusiasm and excitement for what they received from this place will mean they want to come back and partake in our celebration. We hope that this programme on November the 7th, and the way it marks and celebrates the important legacy of this choir school will be one that you want to come and partake of, and we look forward to seeing you there.